Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. Making sure audio works.
Okay.
Hello, Adam. You're
Hello.
live.
Okay. Hello. Sorry. I had to find my phone. Hi everyone.
Once.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Is it working?
I think it does.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear myself. Just let us know quickly if you can hear us as well. But I think you do. Uh, 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 um. Okay, guys. Hi and welcome to the next episode of the musical chairs. We are slowly coming to the end of the year. We will have one more stream together. Sometimes between Christmas and New Year's. It's going to be kind of random, so not fixed date. It's Monday. We should be streaming on Sunday, so you can see how on schedule we are. But
I
anyway.
foolishly trusted Abetrade.
Anyway, welcome to the next episode. Before we jump into the things, as always, the streams are sponsored by Woo. At the moment, Woo has a quite a big trading competition, which you can see here on the main page as well. You can trade, compete for up to or $1 million in the prize pools. It's kind of nice way to show everyone that you have no social life and you will be spending your Christmas in front of charts just trading. But yeah, if you want to support us and if you want to support the streams and if you want to try out the competitions and just win a bunch of things, you can use the first link in the description and uh, make a new account. Once you open your first trade, you will also get better maker and maker and taker fees.
Nice one.
Yeah, nice. And you will get some discounts on the Tradingriot as well, which you can see at the bottom banner. And yeah, thanks for Woos for sponsoring the content, and we can take a look at the BTC, then talk about some charts and stuff around that. Okay, so with Bitcoin, we had a little bit of a sell-off. Last time we spoke, I think it was around here on Sunday 10th. We sold out a little bit. I was kind of bear posting a little bit about ETH at the time. ETH had this nice pattern. Besides being a completely cursed coin towards the whole year, ETH also had this kind of a pattern where basically there is a huge change in the OI in ETH. It usually led to decent amount of correction. This basically happened before the next sell as well. And BTC, if you're gonna take a look at the 12-hour chart, and I think it's also on a daily chart kind of as well, in my opinion, we start to show a little bit of signs of the weakness. We broke this kind of a market structure for the first time as well. Right here, we came for the retest. This is actually the trade that I took during the week. I was in a little bit of a short position when we kind of came to retest of this distribution. And yeah, the level that I'm currently looking at is this line right here. This is a, you can see this here, this is a 30-day rolling VWAP, kind of a, which was basically supporting the price since October. You can see that, we had touch here, we always kind of held above it. We are at the moment testing it almost, so this would be a decent level for me to kind of see if market is going to hold or not. Obviously, we have these kind of support lows right that is as well. So what I would like to see this week, and I will be, and I'm pretty sure most people are going to be kind of slowly transitioning into the holiday season and all of that, but I am looking to see the reaction here. We either would get something like this, or if we're gonna just accept underneath that, I would be most likely looking to trade a little lower into this like 38k region on BTC. I think it's this kind of a interesting spot where I think we also talked about this. We have the ETF announcement or decision coming. It's 23 days, I believe, at this point. But I personally feel like market got a lot of kind of ahead of self in a sense that, you know, like people got so, you know, ready for this thing just going up only, you know, into this news event, and now we start to show this weakness. And I think would be kind of great to see any kind of a bigger correction, you know, maybe throughout the holiday. But at the same time, you know, the volatility is going to be much lower. So we'll see. We are like coming into this kind of a dull period. So it's really hard to kind of say. But yeah, for me, coming into this week at least, and you know, I will be also kind of maybe watching markets till Friday. Then I will most likely just take a week off until the end of the year anyway. So maybe, you know, start of this week basically looking at these kind of lows around 40k. The rolling VWAP is there as well, so we're gonna look and see what's gonna kind of happen there as well. For ETH just losing the VWAP already. Also kind of a decent gap with these lower highs underneath, so not looking the best, you know. And ETH had basically the same situation as BTC. We lost this kind of a structure because this was basically for the first time where ETH lost like a higher time frame market structure, because after this push to the upside, we basically held this kind of a origin of the move. We then, you know, had an origin of the move here. We lost it. You know, we came to the retest, kind of filled this large amount of selling, you know, making a new lows basically. So I don't think at the moment BTC and ETH are looking particularly strong. One of the things that I posted on Twitter yesterday, which is probably something that we can talk about today, is something that I have no idea where is now on Coinalyze. Global charts. Yeah. Basically this thing right here. If we're gonna take a look at the dominance by the OI, you can see that, you know, there is a lot of leverage in altcoins at the moment, which I don't think it's like a best. And even if you're gonna take a look at like volume, obviously, you know, it's way more coins, but especially OI when it comes to, you know, open interest and positioning, you know, being almost equal to BTC. I know that there is no CME data here, which someone pointed about yesterday, but in my opinion, I think it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to the CME order flow, because first of all, you know, you cannot apply this kind of the same rules when it comes to the open interest, that like it's just like dump people, you know, opening leverage positions, which is, you know, how for a lot of times we use these kind of data. And also, you know, the CME futures are expiring on the quarterly basis, so there is a lot of like rollover order flow happening. People use them a lot for hedging as well, you know, like all these kind of institutional traders. It's not only a kind of directional positioning. It's obviously not in like at like centralized exchanges as well, you know, not all the open interest is from directional positions, but you know, it's still way more kind of significant there. So for me, you know, I'm not saying that I'm like completely disregarding the CME positioning. I don't know what the OI is at the moment, but I just don't think it's as simple as, you know, you cannot like look at equally like Bybit OI and CME OI and just, you know, like think that these are the same types of traders. So definitely based on this chart, you know, seeing how much open interest is in altcoins at the moment, and with BTC not looking super strong as well, it's a little bit of concerning. And if you take a look at, you know, if you take a look on Twitter as well, you know, people trading bonk and people trading, you know, shitcoins on Radium at the moment, and you know, docs with heads and stuff like that. It's usually this kind of a last signal before any kind of a correction. You know, like people just flowing into shitcoins when BTC is looking weak, then BTC is going to, you know, correct. Because even like if we on Bitcoin, if we would go somewhere into this area, you know, it's like 10% correction, which is, you know, obviously quite a lot, but it's after 60-70% move to the upside, so it's nothing insane, like BTC. If you're gonna take a look at a weekly chart, for example, we still I think have a lot of structures here. First one would be around this kind of 38k area. Even I think, to be fair, and this is obviously not something that will happen like this week or stuff like that, but I still think that even if Bitcoin would go all the way back down to 32k, we have like very strong level of SR here on a weekly chart. We had these lows here and we had these highs here, so I would for example, expect something like this on like a bigger picture time frame, which for BTC would be what? It would be like 20-30% correction. Yeah, like 20% correction on BTC, and still I would say it's looking pretty solid on higher time frames. But kind of ask yourself what that would mean for altcoins. So yeah, I think market is looking a little shaky right now. Not seeing that large amount of strength. There are obviously some altcoins, something like Injective doesn't really look like it's just topping out anytime soon. I think even Solana and Avax, yeah, these are weakening a little bit, but still, not losing any kind of significant levels here, and you can see how far they are. One of the good things to look at, if you, and it doesn't have to be like I'm looking at these rolling VWAPs here on the 30-day chart. It can be moving averages, it can be whatever you use, but these indicators are usually good kind of not only signals for themselves, like for the coins themselves, but also like indications of like strength and weakness on a given coin when you're gonna look at how, because this line, if it's going to be 200 EMA or 100 EMA or whatever, is going to be kind of same indicator for all the charts. So you can see, for example, here Link kind of lost it and trading way underneath it now. So like a quick glance of like a strength and weakness of any given kind of coin and market. So there are a few things that still look decent in my opinion. And obviously we had some news as well. WorldCoin. It wasn't really a news, but it's kind of a market maker situation. But a lot of these things are just kind of starting to look a little shaky in my opinion. So yeah, these are my just quick thoughts. I think when it comes to BTC, like I said, I don't think it looks the best right now. But also it's Christmas coming. If in 6 days basically, if you want to take a little time off and just like chill, I don't think you are going to be missing much, to be fair, right here.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked before the stream that this is going to be yet another coping session, and basically us opening calendar and making make a wish to get the ETF and get it over with, while both of us traveling only the ETF week instead. So.
Yeah. There was this Bitwise commercial today, so they are already kind of starting rolling with the marketing.
Yeah, there's a few, I guess, updates. I guess I apologize. I know people are getting bored with this at this point.
Someone is asking about Nasdaq. Nasdaq is strong. Nasdaq is about to make a new all-time high. Yeah, this is not adjusted chart. Wait, I need to look at something which doesn't have the gaps. Yeah, it's basically almost there. Yeah, definitely. It's very strong. One thing that you can kind of look at is, let me just delete all this shit. Correlation coefficient with Nasdaq. It's at -45 at the moment. Okay, so yeah, Nasdaq is making all-time highs. The correlation with BTC and Nasdaq is -45 at the moment. So there's it really has nothing to do with Nasdaq, to be fair. And you can see, correlation was usually there. If you're gonna kind of zoom out, you can see that it used to be very close, but there was this very short period in November when it was above 0.7. I don't know. This is not a correlation chart for me where I would be like, okay, Nasdaq and ES are strong. I want to be long BTC solely because of that. Because obviously, for those of you that don't know, How this works when the correlation is close to 1, these move very close together. When, is at -1, they are basically inversely correlated. When you have stuff that looks like this, is basically bouncing between negative and positive every other week. I don't know. There's like I don't feel like there's reason to take a trade, based on Nasdaq being strong, basically at the moment at least.
Yeah, just making sure if somebody can let me know if my mic is better. I tried reconnecting it. Apparently, I sounded like a robot, which it might be just me being boring Eastern European. But to your point, well, if not, hopefully, I don't know. To your point with the altcoins and the global, I feel like, or at least from my timeline, I feel like people are going really on-chain right now. Last few weeks, actually, it's like people doing inscriptions on Doge Chain and... well, I'll buy a new microphone for Christmas.
It's weird because I can hear you like a robot in a stream, but in Discord I can hear you. I can hear you fine. So yeah, probably no reason to kind of spend too much time on it now. But yeah, it's going to be just a setting issue, I guess.
Either way, you can talk about the dog inscriptions on chain on Radium and.
Yeah, I wonder when was the last time when there was this like when basically Pepe launched. It was like May, right?
It was like just before the sell-off.
Yeah. Like if we're gonna take a look when the Pepe launched on Binance, it was 5th of May, which goes in hand around this area. Okay,
Jesus
this
Christ.
is where. Yeah, this is just the thing. I don't know. It's obviously not every condition is the same, but this is basically when like May this year was like a huge kind of shitcoin season. It was not only Pepe, but it was like just people just gambling on chain. Usually, I don't know. It feels like to me as one of those situations where it's just like works for a while, but then you don't really have this kind of a flow into BTC and into like a bigger projects, and it's just going to kind of flush. And even like Solana is selling off a little bit, I would say. It's not as kind of straightforward as it was, even though it's still pretty strong. It's basically within this kind of a consolidation range. Solana shitcoins just popping off basically. So I don't know. It doesn't really scream strength to me at the moment, at least.
I think the major, like even from like kind of zooming out perspective, right? We had this like 6 months. Everybody knew about the ETF for 6 months, right? Bitcoin trading accordingly, and like every day basically we're closer and closer to the ETF, right? Or the gap, whatever you want to call it, like January 6th to 10, 8th to 10, depending on which church you're subscribing to, and market going more and more degen. It's like one of those classic me and you mid-curving it on the sidelines type of thing, but it's definitely interesting situation because like there's not that much we can kind of compare it when it comes to like large caps. Obviously, like we had the ETH upgrade in April, which was this way more kind of a close towards the release. Obviously the ETH whatever the upgrade name was basically the scandal followed by the sell-off, but with BTC basically this rally into the ETF started like 2 months ago. So yeah, I feel like just like a lot of people, like there is this kind of in my opinion, like room for punishment for people that just think that they can just blindly long now and get saved basically just by the fact that there is this ETF decision in 3 weeks, after this market basically done 50% since for the last 2 months in like one straight line. Basically we had a first negative weekly close since October 16th last week. And there's more things put in there, right? Like I've seen a lot of theories around what if ETF this week, because it's like non-zero chance. It's probably like obviously nobody knows, but like it could be like a curveball, right? So I've seen a lot of people, I'm gonna take profits on the ETF candle, but like if you fundamentally don't know when it's gonna happen, it's hard to, unless you sit 547.
Yeah, there was a little bit of buying today, like on lower time frames. This is not something that you will see as kind of clearly as now. Like people, like some of these late shorts definitely got punished today. With OI kind of increasing, and it seems like we are holding that spot. Like one of the pretty common things that I like to look at is just like, and this is more of a lower time frame thing, but you can see it clearly on like 30-minute chart as well. You can see that basically we were kind of selling off today, but then a decent amount of buying came basically around kind of this launch time. We what is this thing right here? We had like 4% OI increase, which is like 300 million worth of it. And generally what you tend to see is these large buyers basically holding their positions. You can see like the biggest increase coming in this kind of small range. We came for a retest, now kind of holding up still. So this is not like on lower time frames. I don't think BTC is looking super bad. I also believe that we also had this just pretty clean, to be fair, on Bitcoin. Someone was spoofing a little bit earlier, but we had this kind of a buyer return seller before we had this flush during the week. This he was like posting decent amount of size. Now the size is kind of coming down in here today, and seems like some of it also got filled, judging by these bigger negative delta bars. These are basically 250 BTC negative delta order, meaning that it got hit on some of this kind of passive buying. So there's a little bit of a reversal now on the lower time frames when it comes to BTC. And yeah, like I don't know, like it's tricky because obviously it would be kind of like you see a lot of this in like altcoins when there are some news coming, and you will get this kind of a change in order flow just like few hours before it. But yeah, it's just pure speculation if you would get the ETF decision like sooner than the January 10th.
Yeah, it's just there's so much detail with ETF. Like we could ramble about it for hours. I feel like it's first of all getting a bit repetitive. Nobody knows really nothing. I guess the only certainty is the fact that there is the final deadline coming up. Like and as you said, 23 days away, with it being like actually quite a lot of weekends and holidays. So like the actual amount of working days, like they're not gonna drop the ETF on Saturday, right? So it's like it's coming, and I cannot wait to actually talk about some new shitcoin season or whatever is gonna be. Hot.
Yeah. I'm looking at this again. Like actually, a decent amount of spot buying came in today at the lows. So it's definitely not the most bearish thing. Most bearish signal today. Yeah, it really is, and I feel like a lot of the projects, especially kind of not releasing stuff. We were talking about this as well. Like a lot of these projects kind of waiting for something new to announce because obviously the ETF is the big topic, and it's Christmas as well. So I'm also pretty excited to just be back to just like new narratives in altcoins and not just waiting for this one date to happen, and we will kind of see it from there.
Yeah. So what do you think about Ethereum ETF?
Something happened today. There was some news like a few hours ago, right? Like it got like delayed or something.
I believe there was second delay.
Yeah.
First, it doesn't make sense, right? But like, you know what I mean? Like, first applicant got was the second delay,
Yeah.
I believe.
I don't know. Like, obviously now it's kind of we are back to the death to ETH party spaces that marked this kind of a huge ETH BTC bottom. If you remember, it was like 2021 or 2020, basically. But this just looks like shit. It's like no easy way to put it. I think ETH is just struggling quite a bit at the moment, and obviously it can be this kind of me being a generational bottom signal on that. Obviously on higher time frames, I think ETH is also looking kind of solid. But yeah, it's just getting outperformed by so many things. And ETH BTC is not giving any kind of bottom vibes to me as well. If I'm being completely honest, we are just like under under everything. Basically, you can see this rolling VWAP once again, kind of capping the price. We seems to be just like slipping under the very thin spot, basically, which is like this kind of these lows, and we had this like very rapid move to the upside. You can see this on the volume profile that basically any kind of next support would be in this like 0.36 area for me to look at. And I don't know like how I don't really look at like altcoins against ETH charts, but yeah, like Solana ETH is just up only. AVAX ETH would be probably the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like what's the reason to trade ETH now? I saw that Solana NFTs flipped ETH NFTs as well. So it's just like non-stop dunking from all the different sectors. And yeah, I don't know, I just feel like it's obviously the stuff you see at the bottom on the one hand, but on the other hand, it can take time, and I just don't want to be like contrarian just for the sake of it, basically. Be like, okay, everyone just talking shit about ETH, I'm just going to be aggressively starting to buy spot, or just like buy or just like long with like a wider invalidations or whatever. I would much rather to actually see ETH showing decent amount of strength before like going long or doing anything on that end. So yeah, ETH is just like not performing really, to be fair. It's I think it's up less than BTC. Yeah, since this rally in October 16, ETH is up less than Bitcoin at the moment. Which, if you're gonna take a look at this, it's like the same argument we mentioned many times before. It's like if you trade an altcoin which is outperforming BTC, there's like almost no point in doing that, because obviously the OI is much lower, the volumes are much lower, so you're just like trading higher beta stuff which can like wick you out way more. But it's at the same time, if you're betting on the upside and you're actually underperforming this kind of a benchmark, which BTC is in this case, like what's the point really?
Yeah, and like you're just essentially taking more risk, right, as you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not everybody has, not like two of us mega whales, right? Two European perma-bear order flow shorting everything retards. Suppose that's like, I was today's years old, like when I learned that if you're born in Europe and like you have anything to do with order flow, means you're shorting everything every time.
Yeah.
And that was quite surprise, especially with the Astar trade today. But sure.
Yeah,
sure,
that's
lads.
fine. Yeah. I'm not really shorting anything, to be fair. Like, if I really look at like the last trade that I took, I was definitely more on the long side. But yeah, it's really this kind of a Euro, doom perma-bear or the flow type. Yeah, Nasdaq
archetype.
I think Nasdaq is hitting all-time high any second. Depends on what chart you're looking at, but yeah, this is just up only basically.
Jesus.
Crypto could never.
I mean, I think you're simply looking at the wrong chart. If you do Bitcoin Turkish lira, then
yeah. No, but like when it comes to altcoins, when it comes to narratives, like I said, there's like really not that much going on due to just simply the fact that it feels like a lot of teams are just like waiting. There was obviously this WorldCoin trade, which I'm extremely sad about, because I posted this on Twitter and then I deleted the tweet because I just got the wrong information. Basically, I, like somewhere around here, I just posted about like the deal with MMs is ending on 15th, and there's not going to be this kind of a huge perma wall, and then someone corrected me that it's actually still going to be there, but it's going to be like 1/3 of the size or 1/2 of the size. I decided to delete the tweet. Obviously, it went up, so I'm just like sad that I cannot claim the cloud.
I was
But
about to
yeah.
say, like, I feel really sorry. Fuck the profits. Like, you cannot.
Yeah, like this has nothing to do with the trade. I'm just like sad I cannot just retweet it with the fucking eye emoji. So
Thanks
or
for
just
playing.
say, yeah, thanks for playing and
My Discord heard it first. By
yeah.
bootcamp.
But yeah,
I foolishly
this was
trusted Abetrade.
yeah. I just foolishly deleted the tweet and I'm just depressed now. But yeah, this was a nice trade though. Like, we can also take a look at this because this was really very unique chart when it comes to crypto, on the higher time frames at least. I will also show you something which kind of makes me to think this is actually a better short than long now. Just give me a second. Yeah, basically, this is how you can see it already here. This was basically just like a huge wall of sell orders because obviously, if you were kind of following the WorldCoin situation, they had this deal with market makers that they would kind of, suppress the price basically a little bit to avoid this like huge volatility. You can see it was kind of happening here this whole time, and you can see where the walls disappeared on 15th, and this thing did what 100% at least. Yeah, it did something around that basically. So this was a very decent trade, and I feel like it's a little bit not the best idea to go long now because this thing has this number as the fully diluted valuation, which I know is a little bit of meme. Obviously, you can kind of counter argue with the fact that it's AI, it's Sam, big guy and everything. But this is, I don't know, this is a little crazy. I think this would put WorldCoin at the moment at what, like top 10, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I have no thoughts.
Yeah, it's like more than BNB basically at this point. So I don't know. I don't know if I love the idea of just going long right here. It can definitely go higher, but it's the way that the tokenomics and everything works. It's really I know FDV kind of meme, but also kind of not. The trade was there with the MM situation. I think the trade is kind of done now.
But it's like, I would like to be devil's advocate. It's one of those coins that clearly gets quite a lot of press, both positive and negative, about allegations around the founders. The whole not OpenSea, Jesus Christ, OpenAI. Like board situation and the market makers. So it's like to be, not to take sides. Be negative or positive, be like neutral. It's a coin that gets a lot of like headlines to trade around potentially if you're like a news trade based.
Yeah, and I saw some news like he's seeking like more funding into this as well. So like it can definitely kind of pump a lot, but I don't know. It's just like really huge at this point.
We can look at Astar maybe quickly, even though there wasn't really like a narrative, but it just shows like, I guess, even with the open interest, right, and like amount of leverage, like this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, this was pretty crazy. I don't know if we talked about this on stream. I think we did. In November, there was the Alphabet conference, and Astar was basically one of two coins, and I try to remember which was the second one today, and I just cannot remember for
Wasn't
shit.
it IOTX? I don't know.
Yeah, something like this.
Two top gainers
basically.
basically today on Binance.
Yeah. Like Astar and IOTX were two coins that didn't have perps listed, or
No,
they weren't
spot.
listed. No, they weren't.
Korea
Yeah,
perp.
They didn't have spot listed on Upbit. We talked about this. I once again did a little bit of a good old mid curving because I just like forgot about it basically. Instead of what would be much smarter way to do is just like look at the higher time frames, which is like super clean. Like you could literally just draw a weekly level of SR here, just buy some spot and wait for listing. So
But I guess,
which is kind of
the point, not point, but like I haven't seen a 3x in a day in a long time. Like obviously I know
Yeah.
somebody trading bonk is like cringing right now, but like I think I kind of feel we're getting old for these turbo degenerate shit.
Yeah, like this had 9 million of OI, so it's definitely one of those really kind of a shitcoin, shitcoins where, and you
Turbo
can see once
shitcoin.
again a little bit of a funny positioning, as it used to be. The in 5 days ago, basically OI increased by 54%, just before the listing. It's which usually tends to happen. But yeah, I missed this, but this was also kind of an interesting situation. I think this is completely done at this point. Like I know people were pointing today that like there's a huge negative funding, but obviously this is just like spreads getting completely blown out and stuff like that. So it's like no point here to go any further into this. I feel like. Someone is asking about what we think about Say, which I don't know if I even have it here. Yeah, this is pretty strong. This is pretty strong. Still holding up quite well. It's pushing again. Usually, yeah, it's very one of those similar situation where how I like to trade these, and you can. I'm happy to share this with you. If you're gonna take a look at a little bit of higher time frames, you will see that there is this very big anomaly when it comes to open interest. 77% basically came in this one candle. So if there was someone buying a lot, you can see that this is going to be the kind of their price point to hold the price, and you can see we pushed, we retraced this, acted as support, and now it just keeps holding. So I think on Say, as long as this area holds, I think this is looking pretty decent. I don't know much about this, to be fair. And also what is kind of nice is that you had a lot of flush on the OI side as well. So like people that were chasing this kind of late got taken out. It's holding this inflection point here, is pushing up now. So yeah, if this is going to hold right here, I think this is in a decent kind of spot. How do I, or I don't know if Runner is using this as well, the order book suite? It's yeah, say no more, nice. It's, to be fair, I don't think I have a Trading Light subscription now, so I cannot show you. Yeah, but you can use some different stuff. Basically, you're just like looking at when the books are skewed heavily for one side. Yeah, like I said, I don't have a Trading Light subscription on now, so I'm not going to show you this. But you can just look at it from like a, like we had very decent. It's not going to be very clean often. This is like, for me, this is like the last thing that I'm looking at. This is on Mob Chart. This is free. You just like look at these huge kind of walls and how they kind of act around the price. You can see we had this is on Celestia, supporting the price here, supporting the price there. Then it kind of completely disappearing. We hitting the cells here. You're gonna kind of play this rotation a little bit lower. Obviously, if you look at like a order book suite where it's just skewed on the one side, it's going to be a little cleaner. Because usually these are not really getting hit, they just get kind of posted there. And what is more important than they getting hit is if they kind of go along with the price, basically, which you can see Celestia on the buy side, definitely did that on this kind of move to the upside. And then when it disappeared, we had these offers. We kind of came here for this retest. This was Saturday. Sold off a little bit. So you can get nice little trades there. Yeah, people can spoof, can be super noisy. And yeah, like I said, it's just like a last thing that I tend to look at. On the altcoins, I just feel like people are really lazy a lot of times. So yeah, people are just lazy, so they just don't really care about just like leaving the size there, basically. But it's a lot of spoofing. It's just a lot of kind of mess from time to time. So yeah. Okay, so Runner went into the robot hibernation mode, basically. So I think what we can actually do is we can just take a look at some of the suggestions you guys have, what you've been trading. Like I said, for me, what I would be looking at, what I think, like to be completely honest, when it comes to, like, you can see I have like a big coins here. Mostly the meta didn't really change since start of the rally. It's still Solana, it's still Injective, it's Phantom is picking up a little bit as well. It picked up a little bit as well, so Phantom is looking fairly decent still. You can once again see this large amount of buying is still supporting the price a little bit. What else is there? Link, Solana, Injective. Yeah, Celestia still is fairly strong if I can find it. Yeah, these kind of three to layer ones basically. The information about upbid listings, well, like when listing kind of happens, you are already a little too late. You basically, like Rana said, you have really no edge there because you are just like super late. There are nice. I'm gonna show this. Like it's not like there's like insane amount of people watching, but there are definitely some very good Twitter accounts that share this type of information. You kind of need to understand that you are also a little too late when you are seeing stuff on Twitter, but for some things you are still kind of pretty in a decent spot. So basically, two Twitter accounts that I like to look at for any kind of a narrative news is this one. This is by RunnerXBT. He trades huge size in altcoins. He posts these kind of events with calendars. And I also like this account quite a bit. Layer GG official does basically the same things. I think there are more accounts doing this. There is like maybe one or two more, but these two are very up to date. Like with the stuff that is going on, you have these kind of bi-weekly calendars and shit, and a lot of this is noise. A lot of this is you are just too late to it. But I remember the Layer GG guy. He actually posted about the Astar. I saw it from him, I believe. He mentioned that there are, he basically like went through all the coins that are taking part of the conference and found those that are not listed on Upbit. It's just like it's a lot of these things is just like common sense, and it's just like requires a lot of time. Like you just need to do the work. There's no easy way to do it. I love to be lazy, and I love when someone else is doing the work for me. So I just look at Twitter. Yeah. So yeah, these two Twitter accounts are really very solid. Supposed to look at. I also use like the calendars, like Coindar is pretty decent one where you just go to calendar. You can just filter out by volume, so you are not looking at like complete shit coins. Once again, 90% of this stuff is going to be, noise, like Cock Inu being listed on Bit3. I don't really care about that.
Christ, man.
But yeah, like from time to time, you will really find some interesting partnerships, conferences, whatever, updates, hard forks, not for fucking Beldex, BXD. I have no idea what that is, but it's just like a lot of noise, but you can really find a useful kind of things. It's just complicated, especially for Astar. Basically, why like for me, I don't really hold trades for like super long. I don't day trade anymore. I don't really hold positions for months. Like this is where the Upbit conference happened. So like buying, like this is like a monthly kind of hold. So you need to just understand that like a lot of these trades have like just different kind of like I think unfortunately Runner is in his robot mode now, but he has this kind of a concept of like time invalidation, which is something that is like I feel like more suited into this case, and I don't really want to talk about it because I don't exactly know his rules for this and everything. But yeah, you are not simply just trading price action, but you are also kind of trading this narrative that should be happening soonish. Like if Astar, for example, you would be buying it during the conference because obviously that was when it's kind of became relevant. It still could go like down like 30% and then just spike on the announcement of the listing, basically. So these trades are not really easy to manage, I would say, but there is a lot to gain from just outside of looking like order flow and price action and all this type of stuff. Someone is asking about 2024 up only. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what I will be doing next week, so it's very hard for me to tell you what markets are going to be doing a year from now. I wish I knew, though. It would be nice. Cool. So, does any of you guys have any other coins?
It's interesting, right? Nobody's asking for any tickers.
Yeah, I think it's... Right? Yeah, you usually get at least like 2 million Mexi coins, if anything, but it's been really silent. I don't know, like a lot of things I just don't feel like look super solid. They obviously we had like decent amount of rallies, but like all these kind of new tokens getting like hammered a lot, especially the Pyth and Jito, which we talked about last week as well. It's just like no strength at all.
This got butt fucked.
Yeah, this is doing very, very poorly. Ordinals are still holding up. There was this. I read yesterday that OKX has the NFT market for Bitcoin and NFTs, and it like surpassed some volume on something. I don't remember what, but there is like still decent amount of interest. So this is holding fairly well. Internet computer. What happened with that? Do you know?
I think it's just people. There might be a reason, but it's just. I don't want to say something wrong, but I think isn't it a layer 1 too?
Yeah, it's like a layer 1. It
like Cosmos went up, I luckily know a bit about Cosmos. Like you can look at chart of Osmosis, for example. Like it went up a lot, like what is it, 6x, 7, 8?
Yeah, it's definitely up quite a bit. It's also super thin. Also, I remember this used to trade at like $30 back in the day. Really? Maybe it's something different. I don't know.
Evmos? Maybe you're confusing it with Evmos?
Yeah, I think I'm just confusing it with something else. Yeah, Atom has been getting some mentions, but I don't think it's like I feel like with a lot of these layer 1s, at least like for me, that I don't really look into things like super deep. It's just like people try to rotate into like anything at this point. Like we started at Solana, now it went to Avax. Now people just kind of trying to force another layer 1 rotation, basically. But yeah, like you said, layer 1 kind of catch up trade. Something with Blur, longing the shit out of it. Yeah, I think we mentioned Blur in here when the blast happened. I don't know, like I feel like it's kind of dead until February when when the unlock of the ETH is going to happen. But yeah, I don't feel like is it like nice technical level? We kind of hitting this start of this move to the upside, if that means anything. But yeah, I don't know. Like Blur is getting surpassed by Solana NFTs, which was the news that I saw today. If this starts to push, I think this still has a little bit of time. Maybe if I to be fair, I completely stopped following the blast situations. I don't know if this relevant at all, basically, but if we would be kind of coming into into that unlock, and there's still like no like blast token or whatever. People are going to be betting on Blur because it's the same death. So yeah, I don't know now at the moment. Maybe if we would just like break up this kind of a rolling VWAP would turn a little lower, we break the structure here, I would be maybe looking for longs. I have nice invalidation there, targeting maybe new highs, but at the moment I just feel like I'm catching knife with this, and there's like no super strong narrative. Expect the fact that we are hitting some higher time frame support, and we, at least from the let me actually have a look at like a proper open interest chart here. Yeah, we kind of shaken out a lot of this positioning.
That's actually bullish, kind of.
Yeah. That's like a technically this is like a not looking bad, to be fair. We are at higher time frame level of support, and we shaken out most of these longs. At this point. So, like I said, if we would make a new highs from here, I would most likely just maybe long some, target some new highs or whatever. Not bad looking chart. I just don't think that there's like a necessarily, like when you have like a narrative, or at least like I feel like how we were trading these things a lot, like when you have like a strong kind of a quote unquote fundamental reasoning, you can like, I don't want to say like put technicals aside, but at least like get some sort of like exposure, because that like there should be this kind of catalyst coming. But when there is really not, which I feel like it's not really in the case of Blur, I would just much rather wait for the technical setup and then take it from there basically. Someone asking about AVAX. I have it here. I don't know. I feel like this was pretty decent short, to be fair, to begin with. Making a new high. You can see how much buying was kind of coming into this. Anywhere underneath this, you had like a decent rotation today. Same with Blur. Same that I copied from RunnerXBT. Don't tell him that. Autistically drawing SR levels on the open interest type of situation, but it kind of makes sense because like lot of longs are just getting completely shaken out from their positions. You get this kind of a positioning retest, and in this kind of case, it feels decently bullish considering the fact that like the price didn't really sold off that much. So even if I would be like short here, I would be most likely closing the trade because we will hit this kind of a 255 million of OI here, and we bouncing from that. I think I was looking this during the day as well on my kind of a relative volume stuff. Yeah, you can see these kind of bubbles. You can see high relative volume is picking up to the lows. So usually kind of signal of you should be just like getting out or even maybe look for like a mean reversion trade. So yeah, I think AVAX is still looking strong. It's obviously like super overextended, but it's always like one Hasaka trade away from a new highs, basically. So that one Hasaka tweet away from the new highs. So I don't think this is looking bad. If you kind of feeling it, I would just maybe wait for a little bit more impulse. This is a weekly rolling VWAP. You have nice invalidation there underneath the lows. Maybe one more step on the highs on AVAX. Looking pretty solid, especially if BTC with this kind of a pickup in spot buying. I looked at it at the start of stream. It doesn't look like it's slowing down at the moment. So yeah, this not looking that bad.
I feel like sorry if I'm raw about last few minutes of the stream, anyways, but I feel like sometimes with like Bitcoin spot ETF, there's these little events that kind of reignite the hype, if you will. Like today's like people really talk about this ad, right? And we had a bit of nothing for like 4 days. I know 4 days in crypto is like 3 months in real life, right? But like, that's the creme de la creme topic for today. Maybe it's something else, and like by Thursday, right? Or whatever. But seems like the ad kind of to people is like, oh, it must be coming. Why would they invest money?
Definitely.
While Grayscale has been pushing the ad for 10 years, but nobody bats an eye.
Yeah, no, I think it looks kind of decent, I would say. Also, I feel like, if I'm being honest, like I don't mind shorting stuff. Like I said, I posted about I was short BTC in this kind of a section. on the retest basically last week. But I feel like with like if ETF gets approved, which can happen any time in like this week, obviously most likely not between Christmas and New Year's, but then in January, like I don't want to be holding shorts for too long, because even though it's like sell the news thing and it's whatever, there is this still like huge chance this will do like 15% wick to the upside or some like stupid shit like this, look like something like this, and I'm holding these shorts and I'm just getting I'm sweating as fuck, and I just hope that it basically does this again. So yeah, like I have nothing against shorting. I have to play my European order flow perma bear part, obviously, but I'm just trying to not really overstay my kind of welcome when I'm in short positions.
And also, like, trend is up, right? Higher time frames. Like, if you go on monthly, it's like, what the fuck are you swing shorting, brother? Like,
yeah. I think, like I said, I do believe that we are in a little bit of like a resistance area, but yeah, this is not like bad looking chart. Obviously something that I will be watching, and we talked about it for the next stream. We will be kind of looking at like higher time frame stuff and some stuff for like next year, what could be cool or not. But there's like rolling VWAP. If this is not going to die completely, and this will just like take time, it will slowly kind of push to the upside as well. You will have this level of SR. I think there will be, even if there is going to be correction, I think this is still going to be looking pretty good. And I don't know, like from like big picture stuff, I don't really see the reason this is going to fucking 12k or whatever. It's been like a perma bear target.
And I would be very surprised if this has a bigger correction, if it's like in one daily candle. I would expect it to be like slower process.
Yeah. It's usually like, I don't know, like one of the best ones, and what I feel like BTC just is doing a lot is these like, you have these like huge flushes. Like we had this one in August, like you flush like, this was like 30% of OI just got flushed within like one day. And then you're just gonna go to this sideways period where people just get completely chopped out, give up and stuff like this, and then you're kind of gonna go for the next leg up. Basically, would be kind of nice thing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it for this week. Like,
yes,
markets making new all-time highs. What else can we say? We're from Europe, so.
No, yeah, like I said, I feel like there are clearly coins that have, that are still strong, Solana, AVAX, Injective, obviously, Link, still kind of weak at this point, Celestia, obviously, still decently strong, VU is looking good, we are not only saying this because VU is sponsoring us, I don't know, Optimism is also looking decent, layer 1s, layer 2s, to be fair, is just like, the play here. AI stuff is still fairly decent as well, in my opinion. But yeah, there is like nothing, I would say it's like nothing really new happening, like nothing new exciting happening at this moment, at least. There are like no big narratives, no big kind of plays. It's just like same old stuff kind of that's been going on for the last 2 months basically. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, thank you VU for sponsoring the streams. If you want to show support, you can make a new account, open the trade on VU. You get a bunch of benefits. Make sure to take part in the trading competition. I cannot find it now. It's right here. They have a big prize pool. You can just have some fun, trade some things. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. We will be, like I said, we will be back for one last time this year, which is going to be sometimes between Christmas and New Year. We have no idea when, so just make sure to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, send me your phone number so I will call you before the stream, and we can meet here one last time in 2023. With that being said, Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you